Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
They understood that unjust laws needed to be overturned, that legislation needed to be passed.
There's no reason for schools to ever do it, and you know, children and teenagers, they're human beings. They've got a right to their bodies, and the buttocks, which it's a private part.
And that presidents needed to be pressured into action.
We have to come before you and ask for legislation to do something that the school district should know is the right thing to do. We don't want children abused anymore, and hitting people with a paddle like this is certainly abuse. We have a lot of data on it.
They knew that the stain of slavery and the sin of segregation had to be lifted in the courtroom and in the legislature and in the hearts and minds of Americans.
You paddled last year in 8th grade. A lot, or a little bit. Relax.
They also knew that here in America, change would have to come from the people.
Funding got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Funding got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Funding got to go.
It would come from people protesting lynchings, rallying against violence.
About 60, 70 times for petty reasons, or small reasons, and we're trying to put it into it, so hopefully we don't have to deal with it no more.
An African-American child is roughly 5 times as likely as a white child to see the inside of a prison.
And black children get more than white children.
The thing we need to do is to make real the words of the NAACP Charter and eradicate prejudice, bigotry, and discrimination among citizens of the United States.
We're still using this. This is a slave relic, you know, and they're still using it in the classroom.
But I'm not an advocate of this corporal punishment.
When I get out there next year to become a teacher, you better not put a paddle in my hand, because you are insulting me as a person.
In the 21st century, when so many jobs will require a bachelor's degree or more, when countries that out-educate us today will out-compete us tomorrow, a world-class education is a prerequisite for success. There's no two ways about it.
Every teacher got 4 or 5 licks on this child in the 2nd or 3rd grade. That's uncalled for.
It's because there is no stronger weapon against inequality and no better path to opportunity than an education that can unlock a child's God-given potential.
I wish they could stop hating me.
Yeah.
African-American students are lagging behind white classmates in reading and math. An achievement gap that is growing in states that once led the way in the civil rights movement.
In Mississippi are among the last remaining schools that still use this ineffective, brutal practice.
Over half of all African-American students are dropping out of school.
You go there today, you're going to get beat. I'm not going. You know, I'm not staying in a marriage where I'm going to get beat. I'm not going to go to a school where I'm going to get beat.
It means we need to be there for our neighbors' sons and daughters. We need to go back to the time, back to the day when parents saw some kid fooling around, and it wasn't your child, but they'll whoop you anyway.
In the way that they beat them and throw them in the jailhouse, and I'm really fed up with it. So I stand firmly in front of anyone and ask them to please stop corporal punishment and ask the parents to stand behind me, and let's make a stand to get this to an end.
What bothers me the most, I think, about these statistics is that the kids who are being hit in school are the kids who are already from troubled homes. These are the kids our government should be taking care of. These are the kids our government should show concern for, our government should nurture, our government should help, and they're not doing that.
stuck, don't want nobody whoop their kids with it, so why they whooping our kids?
Do you have any stories related to corporal punishment from living in Mississippi?
Yes, I do. When I was in the 5th grade, I was attending South Park. I had a teacher who tried to spank me, and she went to reach back. She reached back. I moved, and she hit the building, and she broke her arm, and she tried to sue my mom for her getting hurt.
Were you ever paddled in school when you were a little boy?
Well, once in the 9th grade, I received a whack.
What do you remember why?
I sure do.
What was it?
It was in PE class in the 9th grade. I forgot to put our street clothes into a basket and was supposed to put it back in the cabinet.
Right.
And I forgot to put it back in, and it was automatic punishment for that was one whack from the PE teacher.
Wow. Did it leave a bruise, or was it, what do you remember?
I didn't check to see if there was a bruise. I mean, he certainly put something behind it.
What do you do?
I'm an LPN. I work for a kidney doctor.
Oh, so you're a nurse, basically.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever seen any kids who were beaten by their school teachers come to your hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
You have?
I have.
Have you seen bruises, bad bruises?
I have.
Men whipping 17-year-old fully developed women, pregnant girls.
This is what is actually used? This is a wooden board or a paddle, and this is the kind of device of choice.
This is corporal punishment because I don't want my kids to be beaten anyway. I don't want other kids to be beaten for sure.
You know, you can't even hit a dog, you can't hit a prisoner, but you can hit my child.
High school with a board, and that's child abuse. If it was done anywhere else beside on these schools, they'd be arrested for a felony assault. School, happy children, they're paddled, they come home and have nightmares, they have bedwetting, they're afraid to go to school. We have some children that end up in the emergency room, increases the dropout rates, lowers the test scores, makes the discipline worse, and also increases vandalism. These are angry kids after you paddle them. We don't do this at home, and then I noticed other teachers getting some sadistic pleasure out of hitting kids. But it promotes more child abuse at home. As parents see that it's okay in school to do it, they'll also do it at home. And we have a lot of child abuse in Texas. We have a lot of children ending up dead. That should not be happening in our schools. Get rid of the paddles. It's not going to cost the state one nickel.
And I was paddle growing up, and he thought it was wrong. And he said when I was a kid, they horsewhipped us for discipline.
People in this community to investigate what is going on in your school system with the children, especially physical abuse. But there is verbal abuse also. And our children might not have much high self-esteem, and we need to build that in them. And we need to work together as a community to stop this corporal punishment, because they think that our children are just animals, the way that they treat them.
We need to do better, and we can do better, and it actually shows how to do better, and it's simple.
It inhibits them. Instead of allowing the child to want to explore the world, and the children learn through engaging and touching and feeling things. And of course, you don't want to let them touch the hot stove. They need to learn that, but you don't need to hit them for them to learn that. It can affect their attention level, attention span.
Corporal punishment in the state of Mississippi?
Yes, I do. Yes,
All right, would you tell us?
Well, when I was younger, we were playing in school. And I was the teacher, and some of the other students were misbehaving. Of course, we were playing.
Yeah.
And so it was a clipboard, and I paddled one of the naughty students. And we were playing, but perhaps it was a bit hard, the paddling. And so I received a paddle from the teacher as punishment.
For paddling the child that you were playing teacher with?
Yes, ma'am.
It sounds more like she should have said, well, you're doing a good job playing teacher here today.
This university standing behind me, the first time in Mississippi that is, I think it's groundbreaking that we've had a university now talking about this and actually endorsing putting an end to paddling.
Kind of give you just a little bit of data about corporal punishment in the state of Texas, which I consider to be child abuse. Schools should be happy places for children.
happy places, and where even for those who have homes that are not happy homes, schools should be a place of refuge where you go to learn and to socialize, meet your friends that will last you for a lifetime. Texas reported 49,000 students who were paddled during the school year 2006 and 2007.
First of all, the Department of Education says that probably the statistics are underrepresentative of the number of beatings taking place in the schools. So you can bank on the fact that whatever we do have is, if anything, it underreports how many beatings are taking place. But this is the key to me. First, when a child is beaten in school, they are reported for that school year one time. They are not reported again, no matter how many times they are hit during that academic year. So if a particular child is hit one time or 100 times, it's reported as one incident with the Department of Education. Okay, now keep that in mind when we talk about who's getting hit in schools, because there's been a lot of research on who are the kids, who's being hit. Well, the clearest indication is kids who are poor are getting hit. Kids in the poor rural school districts are the ones getting hit, not so much in the urban districts. But we know for a fact that black children are hit disproportionately. One study showed that black boys are 16 times more likely to be hit in schools than white girls. Boys are hit more than girls, and black children are hit more than white children. And then what happens to them? Where are they going to go? What would you do? When you start crunching these statistics, what you have is situations in which particular black boys are hit so frequently that they drop out of school.
I think that those beatings have impacted your life.
If they had never done nothing like that and explained things to me right and things like the same without hit me, trying to punch me like that and things like that, I think I would have finished school.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am.
You're Latino, you're brown, you're poor, and so you qualify for being abused and bullied by American educators. How does that feel?
And because this report reflected that the majority of these children were minority children, they ceased to keep the data on how many children are being paddled in the state of Texas. Of these 197 children, 10,000 of these children were children with disabilities. Boys were subject to punishment more than girls. Nationwide, boys made up 73% of those paddled, and 78% of those paddled in Texas. Texas is a brutal place to go to school. African American girls were more likely to be paddled than their counterparts, their white counterparts in school. In 2006, African Americans were paddled at twice the rate of other students in the schools. According to Elizabeth Gerhardt, a professor at the University of Texas, such injuries last more than 24 hours. For children who are being popped in schools, they last 24 hours and longer, and many of these children have to be hospitalized. Texas school children have less protection than those in the penal institution. We do not administer corporal punishment in the penal institution. Corporal punishment is prohibited in prisons. School is the only place where corporal punishment of children is still permitted. Texas does not allow corporal punishment in child care centers, family child care, home care, foster homes, group homes, institution, and juvenile detention facilities. Why? Then in our schools. So with that in mind, I'd like to invite all of you to become a part of this movement where we abolish corporal punishment, i.e. child abuse, in schools, where children go to learn and have a good day, every day, in front of a wonderful teacher who cares about children. Thank you. I'll be glad to take any questions. Is there anyone else?
This is what I've been taught. This is the way I'm going to teach, and you have to learn to accept the new way of teaching, the new way of compassionate, respectful educational strategies.